Hi, this is room 112. It's day 32. We're here. We're going to continue to be here, and everything's okay. Our sons are out. Miss Diane, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Christian, myself want to say hi. We hope you're doing okay and that we're thinking about you. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon. Clouds are out. A little bit of, all the birds are out there chirping. You can hear them. Nice breeze. And let's go inside and see what our lesson's about today. Now, as we walk inside, we're going to have to be careful because we had a hard freeze over this Mother Day weekend. And a hard freeze means that the temperatures were in the high 20s, but below 32. So there was a high freeze, and all the plants were going to die. So that's why you see a lot of our plants are inside. The rest of them are downstairs, just because of it was going to freeze and they were going to die. Here's the rest of the carnations right there. So we go in and let's learn about our lesson. And our lesson is inspired by Mr. Schroeder. He was like, hey, we need to talk about homonyms. And it was, so I thought, what is a common homonym? And my wife just happened to get pears. She loves pears. And so pears is spelled P-E-A-R-S, and that's the fruit. And pears, P-A-I-R-S, it means like two of a kind. So here's the pears that you eat. And if we go over here, I didn't get my cards out, but here's a pair of shoes. And right there, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of shoes. And pairs in this sense means that, you're like a pair of socks. You have two of the same kind, you match them up together, pair, and that's like a homonym. All right, so let's go back here and talk about the pears that we eat. And that's the thing. Homonyms sound the same, but are spelled differently, and they have different meaning. But the most part of our lesson is going to be about pears that we eat. And there's the pears, and they're my wife's favorite fruit. And so they're my wife's favorite. We're going to learn about them today. Pears can be either green, red, or yellow. And they can come from China and Europe. And I heard two conflicting reports. I read one place where the United States is the largest producer of pears worldwide. And I read other facts where it said China is the largest producer of pears. And they also talked about Europe being a big producer of pears. And yet, when I look on here and where they are, there is from Chile. So different facts there about who is the largest producer of pears. All I know is that there's 3,000 varieties of pears worldwide. And they grow in the United States, mostly on the West Coast, Oregon and Washington. And it's got to be temperate temperatures there. And one of the weird facts is that every pear that is produced in the United States is picked by hand. I did not know that. Now, if I would have said pears, I could have also, like here, if I would have gone to the refrigerator real quick, I could have confused you as I go in my fridge. And I could have said, hey, Mike, why are you getting butter out if you're talking about pears? And pears were often referred to as the butter fruit because they're soft texture inside. What else do we know about pears? That pears have an ancient history, and they go back to the ancient Greeks about 1000 BC. Pears are also a part of the rose family, and they're related to raspberries and blackberries. Mr. Schroeder would also like this, is that pears are made into musical instruments. The woodwinds are often made out of pear wood, and they're also made into furniture. And my old roommate in college was an architect, and architectural rulers are made out of wood, out of pear wood, so they don't warp. And a lot of spoons and utensils that are in your kitchen that are made of wood are made from pear wood because they don't warp and they don't get the smells and the scent of all the foods that you're cooking. And they're easy to wash. The Bartlett pear, which these are not, but the Bartlett pear is the most popular pear in the world. And one of those little weird things is that nobody is allergic to pears. They're hypoallergenic. When was the last time somebody said, oh, I'm allergic to pears? And pears are one of those fruits that everybody can eat. In fact, in ancient Greece, if you were going to throw up, or if you had your upset stomach, they would give you pears because they help calm your stomach and reduce nausea. Pears are 83% water. Just a little trivia for that. If we were in China, my wife would say, hey, you want some pears? It's considered bad luck to share a pear. And like we said, ancient Greeks back in the 1000 BC, the ancient Greeks grew pears. And Greek mythology, they loved their pears. Hera, Aphrodite, Venus, Homer, they all write about pears. One of the other things is that when you buy your pears, they're often hard. Like this pear is hard. And pears often ripe better when you're at home. So they pick them when they're still hard and green. That's when you go to the grocery store. They're going to be hard and green. But when you get home, they ripen, and they're best ripen at home. So don't freak out when you're at the grocery store and you're like, oh, pears are all hard, I'm going to wait. No, you want to take them home when they're like that, and they ripen best at home. Pears are good plain. Then they can eat this. You can eat the skin. They're good for you. It's served good with ice cream, desserts. Dessert dishes often have pears in them. You can grill it with a nice chicken or fish. So there's all different ways of how you can eat pears. They grow on trees and they have seeds, so they're much like an apple. So just a little bit of facts about pears. And in the homonym, pears like pairs of shoes. So these are the pears that are P-E-A-R-S. And when we go back over here, and you think of a pair of shoes or a pair of socks, it's P-A-I-R-S. So just one of those little homonyms that we wanted to talk about today. And we also wanted to talk about the fruit. Just a little trivia. So two things. My homework would say, do you like pears? Do you like to eat pears? What is your favorite way to eat pears? And what are some different homonyms that you can think of? Now, I just learned tomorrow when we get our room 112, I'm going to be weed and feed the yard. So I'm going to one of my tasks to do is to weed and feed the yard. And when I watch the YouTube video, how to do it, it says, make sure there's dew on the ground, D-E-W, another homonym. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. So what is dew, and why do you need to have dew when you're weeding and feeding the yard? All right, so it's something to look forward to. But so it is room 112, it's day 32. My wife is there in the background talking to her sister, but our sons are there, we're here, and everything's going to be okay. Have a great day.